the beginning of something new. The soft hum of the city blended with the quiet rain as the day turned into dusk. Emilia sat by the window of her small cafe, staring at the people rushing by, their umbrellas creating a colorful sea of strangers. She had always been a watcher, finding solace in the lives of others. But tonight, there was an emptiness she couldn't ignore. Just as she was about to turn her attention back to her half-empty cup of coffee, the bell above the cafe door chimed. A man stepped in, drenched but unbothered by the rain, his eyes searching for something, or someone. He had the kind of presence that made the air shift, and for a moment, the world seemed to slow down. Emilia's eyes met his, and in that instant, everything changed. He smiled, a gentle yet enigmatic smile, and walked straight to the counter. "A cappuccino, please." His voice was soft, but carried weight like a story untold. Emilia couldn't help but glance at him again, feeling a pull she couldn't explain. "Is this seat taken?" His voice startled her. He stood by her table, holding his cup, his eyes locking with hers once more. Emilia, usually guarded, nodded and motioned for him to sit. There was something about him, something she couldn't resist. "I'm Daniel," he said, offering his hand. His touch was warm, grounding her in a way she hadn't expected. "Emilia," she replied, her heart betraying her usual calm demeanor. What started as small talk about the rain and their favorite books turned into a conversation that stretched until the cafe closed. She had never felt so understood by a stranger, yet there he was, making her laugh, making her think, making her feel seen. As they left the cafe, the rain had stopped, leaving the streets glistening under the streetlights. He walked her home, and as they reached her door, she realized she didn't want the night to end. "Same time tomorrow?" Daniel asked, his eyes hopeful. Emilia hesitated. She barely knew him, but something inside her whispered, "Yes." "Tomorrow?" she agreed, and with that, he disappeared into the night. Little did she know, this was just the beginning, a beginning that would unravel the mysteries of love, loss, and everything in between. Episode 2: A Spark Ignites. The next day, Emilia woke up with a strange sense of anticipation. Her thoughts drifted back to Daniel, his easy smile, the way he seemed to understand her without words. She knew she was getting ahead of herself, but there was something about him that felt different. As the hours ticked by, Emilia found herself walking toward the cafe earlier than usual. She told herself she was just going out for fresh air, but deep down she knew the truth. When she arrived, Daniel was already there, sitting at the same table they had shared the night before. He looked up as she entered, his eyes lighting up in a way that made her heart skip a beat. "You're early," he said with a playful smile, standing to pull out her chair. "Maybe I just like this place," she teased, though they both knew the cafe was just the backdrop for whatever was brewing between them. Their conversation flowed just as easily as it had the night before, but there was an unspoken tension now, something simmering just beneath the surface. As the hours passed, the cafe filled with the quiet hum of other customers, but for Emilia and Daniel, it felt like they were the only two people in the world. At one point, Daniel reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers, and for a moment, everything else faded away. Emilia's breath caught in her throat as she looked up at him, her pulse racing. Before she could say anything, Daniel leaned in slightly, his voice low. "I feel like I've known you forever, Emilia." Her heart pounded in response, but she managed to keep her voice steady. I feel the same. Episode 3. The Storm Within. As the days passed, Emilia and Daniel's connection deepened. Every evening they met at the cafe, their conversations growing more intimate, their silences more comfortable. But with every step closer to Daniel, Emilia felt something darker lurking beneath his charm. One night, as they sat together watching the rain outside, Daniel grew quiet. His usual light-hearted banter faded, replaced by a somber expression. Emilia could feel him pulling away, even though he was sitting right beside her. "Daniel, what's wrong?" she asked softly, her fingers gently resting on his hand. He hesitated for a moment, staring out the window before turning to face her. "There are things about me you don't know, Emilia. Things I'm not sure you're ready to hear." Her heart sank, but she didn't look away. "Whatever it is, I'm here," Daniel sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. "I didn't come to this city by accident. I came here to escape." "Escape from what?" Emilia's voice was barely a whisper. He paused, his jaw tightening. "My past." Episode 4. The Unspoken Truth. The tension hung thick in the air as Daniel looked at Emilia, his eyes filled with conflict. He wanted to tell her everything, she could see that. But something was holding him back, something deeper than she could understand. Before she could press further, Daniel stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. "I should go," he muttered, his voice distant. "Daniel, wait!" Emilia stood too, reaching for him, but he was already at the door. "I'll call you," he said, without looking back. And just like that, he was gone. Emilia stood there for a long time, staring at the door, trying to make sense of the whirlwind of emotions inside her. She had felt something between them, something real, but now she wasn't so sure. What was he hiding? And more importantly, why was he afraid to let her in? Episode 5. A Message in the Rain. Days passed, and Emilia heard nothing from Daniel. Each evening she found herself at the cafe, hoping he would walk through the door, but every night she left alone, feeling a growing sense of emptiness. Then, one evening, just as she was about to leave, her phone buzzed. A message. "Meet me at the park, midnight." It was Daniel. Her heart raced as she grabbed her coat and rushed out the door, the cool night air biting at her skin. When she arrived at the park, she saw him standing beneath a lamppost, the faint glow casting shadows across his face. "Daniel!" she called out, but he didn't move. As she approached, she could see the torment in his eyes, the weight of whatever he was carrying. "I'm sorry," he whispered as she reached him. "I should have told you everything sooner, but I didn't want to lose you." "You're not going to lose me?" Emilia said softly, reaching for his hand. "Just tell me the truth." He took a deep breath, his fingers trembling as they intertwined with hers. "My past. It's not what you think." Episode 6. Shadows of the Past. The night was still, save for the distant rustle of leaves and the occasional drip of rainwater from the trees. Emilia held her breath, waiting for Daniel to speak. She could feel the weight of his unspoken words pressing against them, thickening the air between them. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment, as if gathering the courage to face whatever was about to spill from his lips. "Before I moved here, my life wasn't clean. I was involved in things that I regret." Emilia's heart thudded in her chest. "What do you mean?" He turned to face her, his eyes reflecting the pain he'd been hiding. "I was part of a group, an organization. We did things I'm not proud of, things I wish I could undo. I left it all behind. But sometimes, your past doesn't let go as easily as you think." The words hung heavy in the air. Emilia searched his face, trying to understand. What kind of group? What did you do, Daniel? He looked away, running a hand through his hair. It's complicated. I didn't hurt anyone directly, but I was involved with people who did. I saw things I never should have seen, and when I realized how deep I was in, I left. But they didn't like that. Leaving isn't something you just do. Emilia stepped closer, her voice trembling but determined. Are you in danger? Daniel laughed bitterly, shaking his head. I thought I could outrun it. I thought I could start over here. But they've found me, Emilia. I got a message this morning. They want me back. Episode 7. A choice to make. Emilia felt the ground shift beneath her feet. This wasn't the Daniel she had met. This wasn't the man who had made her feel alive in a way she hadn't in years. Yet, as she looked at him now, broken and conflicted, she knew she couldn't just walk away.
Intrigued by Emilia and Daniel's journey so far, the story deepens, the shadows grow longer, and the path to redemption becomes even more complex. Don't miss a single twist. Continue their gripping saga from episode 8 onwards. Find the complete ebook link in the description below on YouTube Echoes Unveiled and in our bio on Echoes Unveiled Facebook. Your next chapter awaits.